Yo, 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 what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of Empire Jeff TV. I am your host, Empire Jeff, coming to you on a Wednesday night from Los Angeles, California, man. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a good week. It's been about a week or so since we last talked. So I want to pull up and kick it with y'all tonight on a Wednesday night. My Dodgers are getting destroyed here in the top of the eighth inning at Dodger Stadium. So no point in watching that game any longer. So, I'm here to rock with y'all for a little bit here for about an hour or so tonight, man. And I wanted to talk a couple of different things tonight. One topic is something that people who've watched the show for a while are no stranger to, is me linking the Lakers to Bruce Brown. That's been going on for over a year now. They tried last offseason. They tried at the trade deadline. They've been trying again throughout this offseason. And like most of the things the Lakers have quote unquote tried or checked in on or been linked to over the last year or so, a lot of those have not happened, right? Bruce Brown being one of those, and Bruce Brown being multiple attempts here that have not landed the player that they've been trying to get literally since June 30th of 2023. So the Lakers are still after him. They're still trying to get him. That has never stopped. It's been points where he was kind of a higher end priority, then kind of dipped a little bit, and then kind of picked back up again. But they were talking to Bruce Brown as a free agent, and then they were talking to Indiana all the way up until January 15th, and then they were talking to Toronto between January 15th and the trade deadline, and then now they're talking to Toronto again as soon as teams were able to discuss trade. So it's a player that they're hoping to kind of land without having to give up really any draft capital. A player that can fill the need of a point of attack defender, another dog out there, an aggressive guard. Doesn't give you a ton of shooting, but gives you a bunch of other things. And just a level of toughness, a veteran, another champion on the team to help with that other vet role. As I've said numerous times, he's played well alongside, obviously, the likes of Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Played well with Jamal Murray and Joker. When he's on a team that has two star level players, two top tier players, he's proven it to hold his own and play well. So the Lakers' thought is that if you put him in there with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, that he'd be able to do some things for them like he's done for other high-level players that he's played with. I tend to agree with that judgment, but at the end of the day, they still have to get him. And they have yet to be able to do that over the last, the handful of years. So they're continuing to try. He makes roughly $23 million, so it will not be a one-for-one deal. The Lakers would have to send out at least two players, and ideally the Lakers would have to get Toronto to take back more than they are sending out to get the Lakers a little bit lower down on that second apron tier there. They're $45,000 away from it right now. So ideally they would like to get about $3 to $4 million under that second apron, and that way leaving them and probably doing like a 2-for-3 deal. So sending out three, bringing in two, getting about $4 million, $3.5 to $4 million below that second apron, so they can sign another minimum player there. So there's some things they're going to do. And like I said, if this is the roster that goes into the start of the training camp, then I won't be thrilled with it. But it very well could be. It very well could be. There may not be anything they can do prior to that with what they're willing to pay. They're looking like they're, as of right now, they want to hold on to their draft picks. Doesn't seem like there's anyone that that they feel is worth it to give up first-round picks or multiple first-round picks for. This I agree with. I don't believe you have to pay a first-round pick or multiple first-round picks to get a Jeremy Grant. I think that's too much money for a guy who's got 4 years and a ton of money left on that deal. I don't believe the Lakers should have to give up those picks to get a player like him. If you're just moving salary for salary, then I'm with that. But giving up picks for Jeremy Grant, I'd stall and I'd hold off on that as well. So this isn't about to be, I'm not in any way, shape, or form defending the front office. They've made mistakes and they will continue to. But my thing is, I understand why they're not overpaying. But at the same time, they've got to figure some things out here. And I've got some this deal that I think here is something that I think could potentially become something. Now, we heard something about in the last day or two about, linking about Valanciunas may still end up being a Laker overall, but he can't be traded till December 15th. So you're looking at a good 6 weeks into the NBA season before you can even legally trade for him. And that's if you could get him. And that's, other teams will probably be lining up for his services. And once again, I swear, if one more person tries to reference the relationship we have with Washington and how they think it's a done deal because we've done so many deals with them in the past, let me remind you once again, we don't have that relationship with them anymore. That GM is gone. All right. It's the former Clipper GM over there now. And he is that relationship of the Lakers and Wizards, that is dead. It is gone. Sayonara. So I'm going to continue to say this because I still seeing that old take recycled. And I'm just here to let y'all know that's not the case. So the rumors started circulating about yesterday, I think, that the Valanciunas may still be a target for the Lakers come trade deadline. But like I said, man, that's getting to, that's getting till December 15th at the earliest. And then perhaps dragging out to the trade deadline if Washington wants to hold out for the best deal, right? So that's probably not realistic, especially for the first half of the season, roughly, right? At least. So as far as that goes, I think there are things that they would do. I think they're just waiting on other teams to blink. I think they're waiting on other teams to take less. This is very similar to how the Dodgers operate. And the Dodgers end up with a lot of good talent on the cheap, on the low. And the Lakers are kind of going that path. They're saving their assets, their future assets. They're not going to overpay for an player just to appease Laker Twitter. And I agree with that. I don't think they should. However, you can't just sit on your hands and run the same team back that went out in 5 games of the first round. And I know KCP had some things to say today, saying how he thought the Lakers should have beat them. This is the same KCP who said he thought Denver should have beat the Lakers in 2020. People, once again, completely overacting to comments by someone who's clearly trolling fan bases, and they just fall for it every single time. However, the Lakers appear to be locked in on a couple of things with Toronto, and I want to touch on this. I'm going to talk for a little bit. I'm going to get back to it, but I think I have an idea what the Lakers are trying to do, and I think it would be great if they're able to pull it off. I don't know if they will be able to, but I think I know the approach, and the approach is with Toronto. I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't even know how if this is like their number one option. I don't know if this is the number one thing they're chasing. But I'm going to say that the Lakers are interested in multiple players. Obviously, they're interested in Cam Johnson. They're interested in DFS. They're interested in Bruce Brown. They're interested in Jeremy Grant. They have interest in all these players. There was interest in Brook Lopez. I don't really think that's realistic. Never really thought it was. On my last show, I told you guys how I would, if I'm the Lakers, and I'd be talking with Houston and really gauging their commitment to Steven Adams. At roughly $12 million a year, free agent at the end of the year, doesn't really have a future there. That's a big. I think the Lakers should take a long look at it and make an aggressive approach to try to snag. But if that's not realistic, I think a Toronto deal could be. I think if you look at Toronto, and if you look at what they're doing, and what they're trying to do potentially long term, and what they're potentially looking to do now, things could kind of line up for what the Lakers and Toronto could do. And you guys know you guys have even joked on me of calling me Bruce Brown's agent calling me for hyping him up, and it's hilarious. But no, I just think he's a good fit for I think he's a good fit for a lot of teams in the league. I think he would be a good fit for a lot of veteran teams. So Toronto, when you look at their roster and you look at their book spread out over the years, Emmanuel Quickly signed long-term. RJ Barrett signed long-term. Obviously, like I said, Bruce Brown, that 1 year expiring $23 million. Pirtle has 2 years left and then a player option. So essentially 3 years. I don't know if he's turning down $20 million in year 3 of that. Okay. But as you start going down this list, then it starts to kind of trickle down there. And this is where I kind of look at this. I'm like, aha, okay, let's think about this for a second. You got a player here sitting here. And I know guys have mentioned this before. Guys have talked about him before. This is not anything new about him being linked or being desired by the Lakers. But you got a 33-year-old power forward / center sitting there in Kelly Olynyk, along with Bruce Brown. Okay. Now, I think the Lakers, if they're trying to do a deal with the Raptors, I don't think it would just be something, just a flip for like a D'Lo and a Rui and filler for a Bruce Brown. I don't think they're going to do a 2-for-1 for Bruce Brown. Losing D'Lo shooting and another piece just to get someone like Bruce Brown in there who could be a good addition to the team, but not a top tier one. So if you can solve a point of attack defender plus a rebounder, offensive rebounder, kind of a gritty big, in a Olynyk, now you can kind of see a framework here and how they would try to think about potentially trying to pursue this. right? So if you look at this, and the Lakers will then, okay, so why would the Raptors just give away Bruce Brown for free? They could have just not picked up the option. You just could have sent him on his way, right? This is true. You could have. Kelly Olynyk, they traded for, then they extended. This is also true. Okay. But we've also seen teams do that and then move them later. So if I'm the Lakers and you need a point of attack guard, a swing guard, a guy that can play multiple positions, defend multiple positions, and do multiple things well, Swiss Army knife, but does lack shooting. But now you've got Connect out there. You've got Reeves out there. You've got hopefully Max Christie taking a leap here. Hopefully Gabe Vincent is back healthy this year. You might be able to make up D'Lo shooting by committee. You might be able to. Okay. Now you got to get that money up there, because the money up there that you got Kelly Olynyk and Bruce Brown, that money going out is roughly almost $36 million. Okay. So remember what I said early on about the Lakers trying to do this deal, probably sending out more players than they send back, sending out more money than they send back. And that this lines up to. And the thing about Olynyk is you don't need him to be a starter. He doesn't have to be a starter. AD is going to start at the 5. Just, you guys have to move past that. You have to get over it. Let it go. It's happening. Okay. So, but a legit big off the bench who can play both positions and play some minutes with AD and help out. And someone like Olynyk can do that. Okay. So when you look at this deal that I'm kind of like throwing together here, I'm curious to see what you guys think of it. So you've got Ruby's redundancy with Braun and Vando. Okay. And AD technically. And you got D'Lo, who the Lakers, are going to be probably looking to move. Just seen this movie before. And then you got, okay, Toronto's going to want something here, okay? Because you're basically swapping an expiring, this Dodgers game. You're basically swapping an expiring D'Lo for an expiring Bruce Brown. There wouldn't really be a reason there for Toronto to do it. And then you're taking a guy with 2 years left on his deal in Olynyk for a guy with 2 years left on his deal in Rui. Toronto might do it. He's younger, more athletic. He fits kind of what Toronto's doing there in that range of player and style that they have up there. So I can see that. There's a little added value there, future. So D'Lo and Brown kind of watch themselves out as far as Toronto's standpoint. Rui is a little more long-term fit there than Olynyk in Toronto. And then you'd have to throw in probably like a JHS. You throw in the project, you throw in someone Toronto would have to take a risk on. And the Lakers could theoretically then get Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk while saving $3.7 million on top of it. You send out 3, you get back 2, you open an additional roster spot, you save $3.7.5 million. So my question to you is, chat, I know I'm talking, I haven't engaged you guys yet. My question here is, what do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that? Because I think that the Lakers could get a deal done for Bruce Brown if they were just after Bruce Brown. I think these talks might be something bigger if this trade were to be considered. And I think that's how you get it done. I think the Lakers really want to keep Vando. I think they really want to see him play healthy and be an extra defender out there to help, especially if you're keeping Reeves on the court with big minutes. If you're going to have Connect playing some solid minutes, then you're going to need Christie. You're going to need Vando. You're going to need Gabe Vincent to prove he can get out there and defend. And these are the pieces you're going to need to keep on your roster. So that's what I'm saying. So I think that deal has potential. I think this deal has been discussed. And I think it kind of makes sense for both teams. If you're the Lakers, you're getting 2 starter level players who you might not even start, which makes your team deeper. And you're getting off of the D'Lo situation, the Rui redundancy, and you're not giving up any future draft capital. And in the end, these are pieces you could also move again later in the season if you're looking to make some other moves. So think on that for a second. Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Like I said, I've been away for a while. It's been about a good week since my last show, so I appreciate you for tuning in. During the summer, I'm taking a little bit more time off, spending time with family. As you guys know, on my last stream, been got a family member that's dealing with something pretty serious, so I've been making the time. Family's been making the time. And, no Laker games going on right now. Nothing crazy going on right now. Anything crazy pops off, I'll pop in and cover it. But right now, I'm going to check in a couple times a week. And appreciate y'all for reaching out. Appreciate y'all for, popping in when I do show up. The nightly streams aren't a thing right now for me, but I'll get back to it eventually. So appreciate y'all. But curious to see what y'all think about that. Let me know in the chat, and I'll catch up to these chats right now. Appreciate you, Hanson. Appreciate you tuning in, man. Thank you. Appreciate you as always. Dylan the Villain says, "Is this legit? What's your source?" I'm not reporting anything. I'm not a reporter. I'm just throwing it out here. I've heard a couple of things today. I saw online today. Sam Amico and a couple of different beat writers were writing about it. You guys know I've been talking about this for about a year now, so this isn't something new for me to talk about. But for the last couple weeks, I've literally heard nothing. Like even the Bruce Brown thing, who I knew they were kind of chasing after him for a solid year, I had heard nothing the last couple of weeks. I checked in yesterday, checked the Bruce Brown, and they're like, yeah, well, Bruce Brown thing is still there. They still want that. They're still checking in on that, but they're just, nothing's imminent right now. I was like, so that's when I started talking about, what do you think about expanding that deal? And they were like, do tell. And I started breaking it down. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. That could potentially hold something up. So I think this deal has potential. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't even know if it's likely to happen, but it could solve two things for the Lakers. It could have some things in there that Toronto would have interest in as well. Hanson says, rule number one about sources, you don't talk about Fight Club sources. You're right, Hanson. You're right. Big Baby, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to go to subscribe to Big Baby Sports, man. Hanson says, will you be watching some Olympics? I've been checking in, watching them. I watched the what was the Saturday game? I watched the one where Braun hit the go-ahead layup, and then they with the Wing Gabriel's team where they almost won it at the end there. I saw some of the Germany game. I've been watching now that when the Olympics really kick off, I'll tune in more. I haven't really been watching a ton of Summer League either. Told you I got a lot going on, and I after the grind of this season and just being such a horrible season to cover, and all the sacrifices and time away I made to do it, I really wanted to spend some more time with family during the summer and not do as many shows. Like I said, I do this kind of on the side for fun. I don't really, not one of those guys that's home all day streaming. I can't, I don't have the luxury for that. So I'm gonna, I toned it down a little bit in the summertime, but as soon as the season gets, raring up again, training camp and all that, I'll be back full throttle. I'm just turning it down a little bit to spend some time with family, making up for some lost time. Dan Inspiration, what's up, my guy? Said we need a center. We do need a center. Absolutely, without a doubt. Big Baby says, hit the like button and subscribe. Appreciate you. Absolutely. Hit that like button if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We greatly appreciate the support, y'all. Greg, what's going on, man? Appreciate you. Clint Capella was another rumor. Clint Capella, yeah, but Clint Capella is just so much money. And here's the thing with these bigs. I talk about Steven Adams. I talk about Robert Williams. I talk about all these guys, and the injury history is always going to be there. Every single one of these guys got injury problems. Every single one. So you're going to have to roll the dice, and you're going to have to gamble on one of them. Clint Capella, another one. He's had multiple knee injuries, but he's a guy making north of $20 million as a secondary big. I think the Lakers have, multiple problems to spend that much money on a big who doesn't do a lot of things. I don't think that's a realistic target for them. In my opinion, that's just me. What's going on, School? Appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in. He says, Jeff's the diamonds. Nah, man, look, this has just been something I've known about for a while. You guys know this. Like I said, until Bruce Brown, it could maybe 2 years from now when he finally becomes a Laker. The Lakers have a thing for him. They want to add him to their roster. It has not worked out yet. It might not ever work out, but they're continuing to try for sure. Shan, what's going on, Shan? I love Larry Nance Jr., to be honest, as a backup bruising big. Bro's a very versatile defender, plus a good reunion with the OG young core. I like Larry Nance Jr., but again, it's a little bit more redundant there. Braun, AD, Vando. It's kind of like the Kuzma thing all over again. We need a wing and a guard and a true big. We don't need another four-ish guy. I don't think Nance is really the type of center. He's probably too undersized. So like I said, the Larry Nances, the Kuzmas, the storyline is cool. The nostalgia is cool, but we need a point of attack guard. We need a 3-and-D or at least a wing defender, and we need a bruising big. And Kuzma and Larry Nance just doesn't tie into those needs. That's kind of like a luxury, but not a need at that point, in my opinion. Black Mamba, what's going on, man? Hope you're having a good one. Appreciate you. D Prince, what's good? Appreciate you as well. Shan says, is Rob hated around the league? I've heard for years that narrative is untrue. I've heard that, when you make the switch from agent to NBA front office, it's a different approach. You kind of got to learn the different things. Guys are going to try to mess with you in the beginning and kind of take advantage of you because you're the new guy around on the other side of the fence. What I heard was that he would have more issues with former agents than he would with any NBA front offices, because NBA front offices, whether they like or dislike Rob, they're going to do what's best for their franchise. So that has been a narrative that I've heard from multiple people for years now, multiple people, that is untrue. And when you think about all the different deals that Rob has gotten done, players he signed, like it doesn't appear to be true to me. And like I said, I've heard from multiple people that said that is definitely not true. Shannon says, could Kelly Olynyk start with Braun and AD though? No, no big that the Lakers get is going to start with Braun and AD. It's not going to happen. Braun is the 4, AD is the 5. Like that's just is what it is. We can go back and forth all day long, or whether that's right or wrong, it doesn't matter because that's what it is. So it's going to be Braun at the 4, AD at the 5. We need to worry about the 1, 2, and 3 starting wise. 1, 2, and 3. That's what we need to be worried about. We need a 5, a legitimate bruising big on the bench. If they keep Christian Wood, they got a stretch 5, a lengthy 5/4. Ideally, we'd like to replace Jackson Hayes with the bruising big. So that's what they need. And that guy's going to need to come off the bench. You're not going to play a bruising big 30 minutes a game. You're not going to do that. So like I said, if you go and you get someone like a Clint Capella, you make $27 million to pay for 20 minutes a game, that's a little kind of doing too much. If we get a Steven Adams at $12 million, Robert Williams for like $13 million, again, injury history though. But these guys, but then again, like I said, we're talking about Bruce Brown at $23 million, but that's a need. You get what I'm saying? That's a guy that you can play a lot of minutes, because a point of attack guard is what we've needed for years and we haven't had. And that money's not going to stay there long term. That $23 million, it'll be probably less than half of that the following year. Let's see. I lost faith in the front office. What's going on? What is that? Shermizi TV. Hey, I understand it. I get it. They're going to have to do some things to get people's trust back in here. But at the end of the day, it's hard for me to accept that like literally nothing has happened. I'm right there with everybody with not understanding how this roster is exactly the same. But I'm also kind of on the side of, look, like we were able to keep LeBron. We were able to keep D'Lo, not losing for nothing, which no matter how you feel about D'Lo, losing him for nothing would have hurt this team. Okay. So, the Connect draft, like I still see some things that I'm still happy that happened this summer. Like I said, Braun staying, 1+1 deal, taking slightly less to keep us below the second apron. I love that. Love the drafting of obviously Connect falling to the Lakers and the Lakers getting him. Love that. And then it's loving the fact that we did not lose D'Lo for nothing. So at the end of the day, I'm appreciative of those things, but I do definitely want more. We do need more. And I think they're trying. This is why you see them linked to all these players. It's why you see all these names out there. Some of it is complete BS because teams and agents are just going to link the Lakers to it. But the Lakers are definitely trying. They're not just saying the Lakers on June 27th, heading into 28th, 29th, and 30th. We're not sitting there looking at each other. Okay, look, we are going to run this entire thing back. We're just going to do that. I'm fairly certain that was not the case. So I don't believe for a second that was their plan out the gate, right? But I do believe that their plan was to not overpay. I think that is fair to say. I think they decided they're not going to overpay. If a deal comes their way, like these other teams do, when deals kind of fall in their lap, other teams with relationships with them make deals happen for a little bit lower. Like I think the Lakers are like, look, okay, we're going to set a tone with this league, and we're gonna set the bar here. Then we're not overpaying. You're not going to play us like you think you are. If a deal makes sense for us and it makes sense for you, let's do it. But we're not going to do a deal that purely makes sense for you and doesn't make sense for us just to appease a fan base. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. And for that, I agree with. I'm appreciative of that. However, because the same people that are screaming at them and throwing daily tantrums to make a move would be the same people to double up on those tantrums when those moves don't work. So I get why the Lakers are doing what they're doing. However, I just really hope this isn't the team going in to start the season and going, 6-8 weeks into the season. I'm really hopeful of that. And I think they're trying. But trying without succeeding is not succeeding, point blank period. We got Too Tall. What's going on, Too Tall? I think trade Vando before Rui. I don't think they're going to do that. I think Vando is just, too valuable to them defensively. And I think a guy like Rui you could find, guys like that you could find. Someone like what Vando does when healthy, but the problem is he hasn't been fully healthy. But neither has Rui. Rui's been hurt every single year of his career. It's why Washington gave up on him. It's because he's been hurt every single year of his career. And you also got to look at it, what you got him for. You essentially got Rui for free. Right? And if you could flip him for 2 starting level players with D-Love, you got him for free, and you can flip him out for something else. I mean, you got to do that. It's not, there's too much redundancy on this team. Like I said, Braun, AD, Rui, Vando, all kind of clogged up in there. And so I can see the writing on the wall with Rui. I can definitely see this as being something that he could be out of there. And I think the Lakers would love to see what a healthy Vando could do. I think they would love it. Loving, wanting to see it and actually seeing it are 2 different things entirely. That's a fact. Sammy the Man, what's going on, my brother? He said, what's good, Jeff? Lakers after Bruce Brown, huh? Yeah, they've been after him, bro. They've been after him. And, some of those talks kind of popped up again today. So I figured it'd be a good point to talk about it because I've been talking about it for a while. And everyone's like, we haven't seen it nowhere. I'm like, well, now we have. Now we have. I told you these talks have never gone away. They've been there. And rightfully so. Like I said, I think he's a guy that can help the Lakers. I do not love the $23 million, but I understand it's a 1-year thing. But I also understand he is a part that this team needs. Definitely. Shan says, Rui really want to see in San Antonio. I want Rui to do well, but I want to see him wherever the other end helps the Lakers. So if the Lakers can get something from the Spurs that helps the Lakers, send him to San Antonio. But in this deal, if we can get Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk, I'm down with moving Rui because, like I said, the redundancy doesn't rebound well enough, doesn't defend well enough. Kelly Olynyk does a lot of those irritant things. Every championship team has a player like Olynyk, right? The Lakers just don't have a player like that. He's 33 years old. He's not young. Doesn't have a ton of years left. He's got a ton of experience. He's a vet. He's a veteran big. And he's a guy that I think he's a dirty work big. He's a type of player the Lakers could definitely use. I feel he can get flipped there. Yeah, he might. The Kid, what's going on, man? Appreciate you. He said, my guy, what's good? Hope all is well with you. Appreciate you tuning in as always. Thank you for your continued support, man. If you just coming in the building, man, make sure to drop a like on the video. We greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Like I said, about 30% of the people who tune in wherever we do shows have yet to subscribe to the channel. So we would greatly appreciate it. Tonight was that night. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Drop a like on the video at the very least. And you can become a member on the channel as well. For less than the cost of lunch, you can become a member for an entire month. Go next to the join button, subscribe button. You can join, or the first link in the description. You can also click on that to become a member. And we would greatly appreciate the support. But the bare minimum, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Goes a long way to help us up. Too Tall says, Vando gets played off the floor. He was on the bench in the Western Conference Finals. He was hurt that year. That's another narrative. Secondly, for anyone who's saying that Vando gets played off the floor, just take a look at his last 10 games before injury last season and show me in any of those games where he was getting played off the floor, because he looked fantastic when he was out there healthy, when he was locked in, when he had his timing down. And Vando got hurt in that Dallas game late in in the season of 2023 that carried into the playoffs. He was hurt last year. Injury is a thing with him, and that's a concern. But the whole thing of Vando being played off the court, false narrative. Like I said, if Redick could use him and know how to use him outside of just having him be out there to shoot, there's plenty of guys, defenders, bigs out there who can't shoot that contribute heavily to these teams out there. They're just used better. So JJ's gonna have to figure that out. But I think that Boston game alone, the NBA champion Boston Celtics, but the NBA champions, Vando looked like one of the best players, was the best player on the floor out there against them. Reeves was going buckets offensively, but that was Vando just mucking up that whole game. So anyone that thinks that Vando could just get played off the court, just watch those last 10 games before he got hurt. Phantom Dancer, what's going on, man? He said 2020, we had 5 different wings that could shoot and defend at a high level. The last few years, we don't have one real 3-and-D wing. This is why I prefer Jeremy Grant. No, I hear you on that. Different league also than 2020. They've got back to a lot. Teams have more bigs, have a little bit more length. Teams aren't as like the Clippers, who had all the wings in the world. Didn't even win that year, right? We had wings technically, but Danny Green had just fallen off completely. Avery Bradley didn't even go to the bubble. KCP did his role great. But like I said, when we went into the actual bubble, we didn't have all those pieces, and all those pieces were not playing well. Danny Green had a terrible playoffs, terrible finals. Avery Bradley wasn't even there. So like I said, we do need a 3-and-D, but Jeremy Grant isn't as good on the D defensive side of that 3-and-D as people think. He can't guard those wings as great. Solid offensive player, though. Miguel, what's going on, Miguel? He said, hell yeah, I like Bruce Brown. I like Bruce Brown, too. Like I said, I don't love the $23 million. That's a fact. But I do like what he brings to a team. I do like the fact that he plays well with star players, has continuously played well with star players. And I think he could continue to do that in LA. But it'll take some doing. Let me get a drink. 1 second, guys. Hold on. Okay, excuse me. Let me see. It looks like we got a super chat in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate my brother HC Picks. Appreciate you, man. He said showing love. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to you, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for showing love, man. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. Not just for the super chat, but for spending your time and for showing the love. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And thank you, as always, for your continued support, brother. Appreciate you. All right, let me get back what we had here. Shan says, I have no faith in Vandal personally, and that's okay. That's okay. Like I said, I'm not going to get up here and I'm not going to bet my life that the guy's going to stay healthy. I'm not going to bet my life that he's going to, prove doubters wrong. It's not what I'm saying. But I did see enough to see what he could do when healthy. And if we have some strategic coaching out there and a solid coaching staff that can really unlock him and figure out how to use him well, then I think people could change their tone on him. But time will tell, and we'll see. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, what's going on? He said, happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope you're doing good, brother. Appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe to his channel. Daniel Berry got a channel as well, so appreciate you for tuning in as always. Shan says, I'd go for Bogey and Nance. That's realistic, and it works. Gives us a starting guard, 2-way, and a backup big man. I then do another deal for a good wing, move D'Lo, JHS, and Wood for Kuzma. That would be great. So your thing would be Bogey, Nance, and Kuzma. I don't know what that does for our defense, and that's a whole lot of redundancy there. Bogey, I don't mind, but you got Bogey and Reeves. That's troublesome. And then Kuzma and Nance, 2 undersized, more redundancy. Like it doesn't really solve the point of attack defending guard, 3-and-D wing, and a bruising big. That's exactly what we need. James CJ Caldwell, what's going on, my brother? He said, what's up, Jeff and Lakers family? Hope you're doing well. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Hope you're having a good night. Thank you for tuning in. Once again, thank you for being a member as well. Too Tall says Vando is a liability at times. Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you. He has been at times. My thing is, I'm not denying it. All I'm saying is, if there's a scheme and you're not just trying to like point him in the corner and forcing teams to make him shoot, then yeah, you don't have really a place for him on the court. But if you're using him right in a dunker spot, all right, if you're using him right in movement, if you're doing things correctly to actually maximize what he does do well, then you see a different player. But like I said, just look at that Boston game, man. Look at that. There's just the Golden State game. The games leading up to his injury, he was so incredible. And if we get anywhere near that type of Vando next year, it just changes our team completely. Greg, what's going on, my guy? He said, what's good? Are you looking at the Hard Knocks offseason with the Giants? Hope your Giants do better this year. Hey, appreciate you. I'm gonna record it, but I haven't had much time. It's funny. The only TV I've really been watching, and I haven't had a ton of time to do this, but I've been reworking my way through The Wire again and watching it all the whole series again. I did that last year with The Sopranos, and now I'm doing it this year with The Wire.
And man, that's my favorite show of all time, The Wire. And it just, these shows like The Sopranos, The Wire, The Breaking Bads, these shows, you watch them every handful of years again, and I swear it's like, it's still great, but your perspective, as you get a couple years older, each time you rewatch them, your perspective changes a little bit. Maybe a character you didn't like too much, you're like, oh, you kind of understand them a little bit more now. Maybe a character you really rocked with, you kind of don't understand them as much now. It's kind of a cool, different perspective. So I'm working my way through The Wire right now. Once I get done with that, I got to catch Hard Knocks, and then I got to definitely, I'm gonna start watching the actual like Olympic Games as well. Tamika, what's going on? Appreciate you for tuning in as always. Thank you. Hope you're having a good night there. Nance is a backup big, not a 4. The complaints of everyone wanting a big to guard Joker, that's that's not Nance, bro. That's not Nance. I mean, if Nas Reed could stop Joker, Nance could bother him more than Wood and Hayes could, because he got size. Yeah, I mean, but again, it comes down. Yeah, no, I hear you on that. It comes down to scheming, really, as well. And to be honest, like, I think what like KCP is talking about here is we're like, the Lakers really wore down Denver. Like, I really do. I think if Denver catches Minnesota in the first round, I think they get them. It's just timing, matchups, and the Lakers make Denver work really hard. So, the Lakers got swept the year before. This year, it was 5 games, but those were 5 real brutal games for Denver. And I almost felt like the Lakers beat, this is going to sound crazy and almost stupid, but I feel like the Lakers beat Minnesota more in round 2 than Minnesota did. Like, Denver just, if it wasn't for like a colossal, like all-time meltdown in game 7, the series was done. But just the Lakers had taken so much out of them. And, when you got there and then Minnesota, snuck up on them early in that series. And then Denver had to then rally to get back in it and take the lead. And then, Minnesota had a second run there. But I don't think for a second that Nas Reed is a permanent fixture to stop Joker. Like, I don't think so for a second. Situations matter. And Nas Reed is a much, much better player than Larry Nance. I like Larry Nance, but Larry Nance is not Nas Reed is a top 6 player on a basketball team. Larry Nance is not. So, and I like Nance. It's just, he's not that guy. He's going to be a guy that everyone will be throwing fits about him getting cooked all season long. And he doesn't bring on the offensive side what Nas Reed brings. And he doesn't have he would have AD playing on the side of him, but he's just not that guy. Like, he's not that guy. He hasn't been a guy that's like, you almost never even hear his name anymore. Like, he just isn't a guy that you're going to plug in and he's going to make you a better team. He's a good role. He's a good guy to have on your bench. Good, like 8th, 9th guy. Like, but Larry Nance is not a top 8 rotational guy on a contending team, in my opinion. Let's see. Diesel Don, what's going on, man? Can we get both Cam and Bruce? Probably not. I'm gonna say no, because you give up 2 big money guys. Well, as far as 2 like $18 million guys in Rui and D'Lo. You'd have to give up then like a Vando and Gabe, kind of for like a Cam Johnson. And I don't know. Mathematically, you could probably make it work, but I don't think so. Jeremy, what's going on, my guy? He said, Empire Jeff, my Pirates are 2 games about 500, and we're on our way, my guy. Hey, like I said, they're peaking early. I don't got them doing anything come playoff time if they get there, but they're gonna be good for a while, bro. You know this. LA for life. What did I miss? Just talking about some news that kind of worked its way out there today about Bruce Brown, different potential situations. Let's see. Craig, what's going on, man? KCB confirmed Ham was the issue. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the whole interview, Craig. So I didn't hear him mention Ham's name. If he did, then I just uninformed. I didn't see it. I heard him say that he thought they should have beat him because they were up in every game in that series. But yeah, Ham is still taking the shots for this team, even though he's been gone since like April, right? And people are still throwing fits, and Darvin Ham's been long gone. So Darvin Ham not the only issue on this team, never was. But Darvin, I didn't see that portion. I don't know if you're just doing what everyone else does and just takes any angle that anyone says negatively and just forces it down that lane, or if he actually said his name. I didn't hear him say his name. If he did, then it's just I missed it. Let's see. Shan says Bogey is a good defender. It can snipe. Kuz is a very switchable defender. What I'm saying is sometimes you just need a slight improvement, given we were close to beating Denver with the flawed ass team. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Look, I'm not like, I like these players individually, and in a vacuum, I get it. But the Braun and AD factor, they're getting the majority of the minutes at those positions. Kuz isn't really guarding threes. He's not guarding wings. Bogey, I don't think I'd call Bogey a good defender, though. He's better than D'Lo and Reeves. I don't think he's a good defender, like a guy that's going to be our if that's like our best backcourt defender, then we're not where we want to be. And Kuz I like, but you know, if Braun was able to play the three, which he's not, thanks. Kuzma at your 4, okay, but Kuzma at your 3, that's going to be troublesome. And I like all these guys individually, I do. But like I said, we really like Bogey's not like known as a point of attack defender. Like he's not. And I don't think anyone out there that's scouting against Washington or a team with Kuzma is thinking like we want to get switched off of Kuzma. Like, or if you get switched on to Kuzma, like, oh great, this is what we want. So I like the players, but I don't really think any of them feel the exact need that the Lakers like they're going to take them over the top, like maybe a little better, maybe get another game or two against like a team like Denver. But I don't think those are the moves that get them past them. And it could go backwards. You got to understand, like we made them work with this team. And then if we go make changes to get guys out of position, then all of a sudden it's like, then you can mess around and get blown out. So you got to take what you did right and try to add to it in ways. But that's a point of attack defender at the guard position and a legit 3-and-D wing. And a legit bruising big. That's exactly what they need to do, man. Let's see. James says, hey Jeff, in your opinion, how good do you think Connect can be? What's his potential ceiling? I mean, to be honest, I don't really overreact in the moment. I like what I've seen from him. You can definitely see the skill, you can see the talent, you can see the potential. You can see that. I want to see how he looks when NBA defenses are geared on him. I want to see how he looks when he's playing in NBA arenas. Like, I got to wait and see. This summer league stuff, I never take it too serious. I like what I've seen. I think we stole a guy at 17 that was probably a top 8, pick. I love that. But I'm not going to get out here and put the weight of the world on a rookie's first year, So got to see how he plays against NBA defenses, against NBA strategies, NBA players on a nightly basis. I got to see that. I do think he has everything you need, and I like the fact he's a little older because he's going to be a little bit more mature, a little bit more ready, both mentally and physically more mature. And so I think that all bodes well for him. However, I need to see it. I'm not gonna look at what he's doing against a bunch of first, second, and journeyman guys, and expect that against NBA players out the gate. Like he's gonna hit a wall. He's gonna have to adjust. And we'll have to wait and see how he responds to that. I do like what I see. I think there's potential for him to crack, like, I don't want to necessarily say starter minutes, but contributor minutes. I think he has a chance to crack that. But it's too early for me to kind of expect what he's going to do in an NBA court until I see that. I would rather see him in training camp, like how he looks there, than summer league, even though he's going to be playing against journeymen and some guys that are in the summer league. But there will be points where he is matched up against NBA players. And that's what I really, really want to see. Shan says, at least Rui for Bogey would be nice. Okay, yeah. Okay. So now we're talking, Sham. See that? And again, I apologize if I'm coming off like I feel like we're not on the same page yet, but I'm not dissing your takes. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying this is my opinion, right? So my thing is this. The Rui for Bogey thing, now you're talking about it because now we're getting rid of some redundancy than adding some need there. So this I'm not mad at, because if you get a guy who can defend but isn't top tier defender, a guy that can make shots, and I think Bogey has some clutch DNA in him. I really do think he does. And I think he's tough. right? So that I would not mind. Now, my whole thing of of D'Lo and Rui for Bruce Brown and Olynyk is because you're doing like a 4 for a 4 and a 1-2 for a 1-2, right? You're kind of sending those positions out that aren't giving you what you need at those positions and bringing guys in those positions that kind of give you more of what you need. So that's what I'm saying. So this is kind of a big for a small, which is okay. But then we have less redundancy there. And now you can maybe do something, and now you got to find that wing now, right? You got to find that other wing now. So we're getting there. I get what you mean there. But as far as like Kuz, Bogey, Nance, while I like all those players as players, I don't think those guys check all the boxes as far as what the Lakers really need. I don't know what needle that really moves, I guess is my opinion. Then honestly, I'm unsure at this point. I mean, kind of everyone is, Sam. There's a reason why the Lakers like I'm telling you, like the Lakers are not just like sitting back saying, yeah, we decided July 1st to not make any moves. Like I'm telling you, it's not that. It's just everything that they see, doesn't, at least to them, doesn't feel like it's an upgrade that's worth making a move for it right now, or they would have done it, right? They made a play on Clay. Clay wanted more money than they were willing to get. He wanted a guaranteed starting position. DeRozan was never an option. Really wasn't. He flat out put it out there basically immediately. Like Braun knew these guys weren't an option because he took the contract. So Braun knew. Then Braun backed them up. Braun was pouting or upset. He said no problem letting things leak out about that, right? He backed them up on it. So I think while it's not about not holding these guys accountable because they need to be, like Rob has to do something here. He can't going in to start the season with this roster is not ideal, let alone getting to December, January trade deadline, or God forbid past the trade deadline. That would be unless the team just responds to JJ so well, they stay healthy. Like even if the role players stay healthy, like do you really trust Bron and AD to stay healthy a whole other year? Like I'm just saying there's so many reasons why you can't run this back, because even if 80% of it goes right, 20% of it could kill you. Like Bron or AD getting hurt, Vando, Rui getting hurt again and for long stretches. Like JJ, the learning curve taking longer than you would like. Like there's still a lot of things that could go wrong. So let's say Bron and AD are healthy out the gate. The role players are healthy out the gate. But let's say JJ costs us some games. It's possible, right? You got that to deal with. Or let's say JJ comes in, it's locked in, his strategy is great, but they got hurt in training camp and missed games, and the chemistry isn't there yet, and you got guys in and out of the lineup again, which happened all last year. Like, I think on that alone, you might want to just shake things up a little bit, right? But at the end of the day, it's not like they're not trying for that. It's not like they don't know that themselves, because they do. They just haven't felt a deal that's come along that they're willing to spend the money on, or when the future capital as far as picks go. And until it does, I fear they're not going to make any moves here outside of the one I'm talking about tonight, which wouldn't really cost any draft capital. And I think we have to, as of right now, I think we have to start thinking along the lines of those types of moves. 1 second. I think we have to really start thinking about what moves are out there that aren't going to cost first round picks. What moves are out there that the Lakers can move a D'Lo, a Rui. I'm not for moving a Vando, but a Gabe Vincent. Like, what moves are out there that those guys could get you? And maybe there's not a ton right now. And maybe those guys, maybe the Lakers strategy is we have to get these guys back on the court so we can show teams that they're playable and they can be traded for. I don't think that there's teams out there saying there's no way in the world we trade for a Gabe Vincent. I think they want to see how he plays. How's that knee holding up? I don't think there's teams out there that wouldn't trade for Rui or that wouldn't trade for D'Lo. I think teams will trade for all these guys. I think the Lakers could have had deals for these guys, but I don't think the Lakers are looking to just dump them. I think they want to get return on them, which they should. And in doing that, and not allowing teams to just fleece them. They're kind of stuck in this holding pattern right now. Shan says, do you feel Connect can be like this year's Jaime Jaquez? Yes. So, well, I don't want to compare them, but I would compare them in the aspect of I think he could be like Jaime Jaquez as far as a guy. For what I was talking about with Connect is the same thing about Jaime, is that older body and mentality, more mature. He's not going to rattle, not get scared as easy. I think he's more ready to be a professional now, like Jaime was last year. So yes, I think he can be kind of like this year as far as the story, but they're different style players. But I think as far as like his impact being a rookie, yes, I can see that parallel. JSJ, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's another one. So yeah, these guys, like I'm telling you, like I think he has potential to do great things. But I need to see him. I need to see him play against NBA talent. First and foremost, man. If the Lakers had an extra roster spot, would you sign Precious Achiuwa? I like Precious Achiuwa. I mean, Precious Achiuwa should be on an NBA roster. So yeah, he'd be a guy I wouldn't mind. But again, depending what the grand scale of things are, but he wouldn't be a bad guy. What's going on, Raw? Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for tuning in. Shan says, I also kind of want to get off Gabe Vincent and JHS too. Definitely need to get rid of some contracts. Yeah, so man, the thing is though, like Gabe, like I haven't given up on Gabe yet. Now, maybe that's foolish. He got hurt, but Gabe is a guy that this team, like, here's the thing, like that's maybe what the Lakers are waiting for too, right? If Gabe is able to get out there and be kind of that somewhat of a point of attack guy, the guy that doesn't go over every screen, he fights through him, he's physical, can make shots, can put the ball on the floor, then maybe you don't need to go get a Bruce Brown type, because then you got Gabe at like 11 mil, right? So part of me understands the wait and see how these guys look approach, but there's also a big part of me that just doesn't want this entire team to run it back, So you can't have both sides, right? You can't say, okay, let's wait and see and then be mad when it doesn't work out. I want some changes, but I also do want to see if some of these guys, like I think the ship may have probably already sailed with D'Lo. I think D'Lo and Rui are the guys that probably got to go. I think Gabe and Vando are probably the guys that you roll the dice with and give one more shot. But we'll have to wait and see. Do you feel like Rob is being too patient? Here's the thing. I think that's a great question, JSJ. I think Rob and the Lakers might be being a little too patient, and I think the Laker fan base is being a little too impatient. Neither one, I think. I hate not picking a side here, but I think both of them are right in their way. I think Rob, who has rushed some deals before, got killed for it, has made deals that didn't work out for us. Like, I think Rob being more thorough is good, but you also don't want to do nothing, right? And then from the fan base perspective of just wanting to see a move, just to see a headline, just so we can say that we're a team that made a move. Like, I think that's too extreme too. So I think we need to make a move or moves, and they need to be the right ones. And if those right ones aren't available, then I don't know if it's him being too patient. I think that's smart. But if the right moves are available and he's just not getting it done, well, that's different, right? That's different. And no one knows for sure. But in due time, we'll know. We'll see what this team, that I think that every day or weeks that go by, the closer we get to the start of the regular season, is probably more realistic that this is the team that starts training camp. And then, God, I just don't want to be waiting till December 15th, waiting till January 15th. Okay, now let's wait to the trade. I just don't want to go through that again. I just don't want to deal with that again. Could you do D'Lo for Wendell Carter? Personally, I don't think so. I don't need D'Lo. I mean, I got to look at that. Let me see here. Let me see here. Let me check out Wendell. So let's see. Windows at no. So you couldn't do that straight up. So I've worked on. I've done a deal like that. Like I've built some framework with this, but this is before like the Magic did their moves. Some of the moves that they filled in around. Now, the Lakers are not in a position where they could. Hold on a second. So like if you were going to take Wendell Carter, who's about a little under 12 million. So D'Lo, if you're going to send out D'Lo for him, like it could work because Orlando can take on that additional money. So Orlando would basically be Orlando's setting out about 12 mil and they're taking in about a little over 18 and a half. So the Lakers would love this deal because it's saving them over $6.5 million in savings. That's 2 minimum spots, right? So if you're Orlando, what's motivating you to do this deal? Like the Lakers would have to throw something else into this to entice Orlando to do this deal. Like, in my opinion, right? So those are the things. You have to look at it. And some people just look at salary matching up. Some people look if it's legal within the CBA. That's the first thing I look at before I go then into the optics of it. So it works CBA wise, but if I'm Orlando, I don't do that deal, right? If I'm the Lakers, I do that deal. If I'm Orlando, I don't do that deal. We got another super chat in the building. Highly Ford, thank you. Appreciate you as always showing support. I thank you so much. Appreciate you. Having Brown would be nice, but I'm worried about his offense. I think the biggest need is a big Richards, Kessler, or Valanciunas. Yes, I agree that those types of bigs, absolutely. Kessler, probably too pricey. Valanciunas isn't available to at least December 15th. And Richards is an interesting one because here's my thing about Richards, highly. And what I've heard nothing. I've heard no link to it whatsoever, right? None. Absolutely none. But my thing with Richards is he's $5 million a year. He's young. And unless someone crazy overpays, Charlotte doesn't really have any reason to get rid of him because you can't replace him at that money and at that skill. So unless someone comes in and crazy overs, like offers a first round pick or like a protected first, and the Lakers aren't going to do that. I don't think you can get Richards for like a second or 2 seconds. I don't think you can get him for that. So if that's the case, he probably would have been gone last trade deadline. He's a perfect guy. Like I said, he'd be great to get, but everything that we've seen, it looks like it seemed at least that Charlotte doesn't seem like they really want to just give him away or give up on him for nothing. For the money they're paying him, for his skill set and his age, that's really hard to replace. And you got a new coach over there now. You got some things you're trying to do. And I don't think they're just going to be giving him away. And I don't think, like I said, I don't think the Lakers are going to pay up for it. But he would be solid. Kessler would be a solid pickup, but they want multiple firsts for him. I don't see the Lakers doing it. And Valanciunas, we'd have to wait till at least December 15th. All in a vacuum work. I agree with you. I also agree with you with Bruce Brown's offense at times. I agree with you. My thing for Bruce Brown is just the things he brings to the table. Kind of all the intangible stuff, I think, is what this team needs. But there is a concern of, like, let's say in a game where you got, like, say, him and a Vandal on the court at the same time. That could be tragic if they don't figure out how to use that, right? So I agree with you. I like all those names. I just don't know logistically how those three would be pulled off there, in my opinion. Let's see. Let me catch up here. Tyrone, what's going on, my guy? He said Brown for who? So I'm gonna go back and touch on it if you're just pulling up. So my trade right now that I was thinking of is a 3-for-2, frees up a roster spot for the Lakers. Also saves the Lakers a little over 3.8 mil. So it opens up a roster spot. It gets them in position to sign another minimum player, keeps them below that second apron, and they get 2 players. So my trade would be D'Lo, Rui, and JHS for Bruce Brown and Kelly Olynyk, and essentially that third roster spot opening up by saving the Lakers some money. Get you 2 quote-unquote starting level players, although neither one of them may start, and point of attack defender at the guard position, dirty work big, actual needs that the Lakers need. You get rid of D'Lo, you get rid of the redundancy in Rui, and Toronto takes a shot on a guy that maybe they could turn around in JHS, and that would be the deal most likely along those lines. You might be able to swap out, like if Toronto's just like, okay, we really like Rui, and we'll make this deal for that. And then maybe you could swap out a JHS for a Cam Reddish, something like that. But it depends, how Toronto looks at JHS. Do they see him as a prospect they can turn around? But that's kind of the deal that I've been talking about tonight. Shan says, hello dudes be saying DFS is not who we think he is and that he's been washed since 2022. I like DFS, but he's not worth the price Brooklyn's been asking for. I had a long talk with my guys from We Talk Mavs about him, and they've convinced me that he's worth a get at the right price. They call him a winning player if you have him on a team with stars like Bron and AD, that he can definitely be a guy. He's a guy that can defend up there with Vando, not necessarily on a Vando level, but better offensively than Vando. So he's a guy that if you could get, would be a really good piece to get, but a guy that you don't want to overpay for sure. JSJ says, do you feel like the media is linking too much of the Lakers' plans, making all teams know their blueprint? To be honest, JSJ, I don't believe the media knows any of the Lakers' plans. Because to be honest, I'm not even sure the Lakers know the Lakers' plans right now. They could just be sitting back waiting for something to fall on their lap, because it could just be like, the things they've talked about, if there's no traction there and they're just waiting something out. I don't believe that there's a lot of things, and a lot of these things that you hear to come out could have been talks from weeks ago. And as the summer drags on and people need news, the stuff starts to trickle out. But so, like I said, because you guys know, like I said, I've been talking about this Bruce Brown thing for a year now. For a year. And the thing is, I'm not even on this thing like, no, they got to get him. They got to get him. I just keep hearing it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's Bruce Brown or bust to me, because it's not. But I just have heard it for a year. So that's why I know they're still linked to him. But I don't think most of the media has any intel here. I really don't. Samuel Pettit, what's going on, man? He says Zach LaVine. I doubt it. I highly doubt it. There's just so many different logistical reasons why that would be messy. I like Zach LaVine, the player, Zach LaVine, the skill set. I have no beef with Zach LaVine, but there's just so many things that could go wrong with that. Reg, what's going on, my guy? Salute to you, my brother. Hope you're having a good one, man. Shout out my guy Reggie from the locker room, man. Shout out to Reg, man. Appreciate you tuning in. Make sure to pull up on Locker Room, the Locker Room over there on YouTube, man. Make sure to check out his show nightly. One of the most entertaining, fun shows. I check out Reg every episode, man. You guys heard me talk about him multiple times. He's one of the guys that inspired me to actually have a channel. So shout out to Reg. Does great work on the regular. Takes on all criticism. Takes on all trash talk. He ducks nothing. Fun change of pace show. If you're tired of the same kind of cookie cut Laker talk, pull up the Reg, man. Pull up the Reg. To me, Reg's channel is like a cleanse of some of the craziness that goes on with Laker Nation. It's different. It's different. That's why I like it. So I like those guys that kind of have their own lane and don't just kind of do the same thing as everyone else. So Reg is that dude. So pull up on Reg. Check out the Locker Room. Salute to you, brother. I appreciate you tuning in as always, man. Let's see. Richard, what's going on, my brother? Said, Jeff, how are you doing? I keep reading a lot of reports that the Lakers are just unwilling to give up our picks. Grant, 2 picks. Cam Johnson, 1 pick. Bowen, 1 pick, and every player in all trades. Yeah. First of all, appreciate you asking how I'm doing. I'm doing okay. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I just think the prices are too high right now. I don't think the Lakers are willing to overpay. And I'm not upset about that. Although I do want moves to happen. I understand overpaying could be disastrous. I think they will do something. But I wouldn't give up 2 first-round picks for Jeremy Grant. I think that would be malpractice. I think that would be negligent. I think that would be stupid. And look, in this new CBA, in this new business of basketball, those picks are valuable. The Lakers have every one of their picks outside of 25 and light protection on 27. So they've got all their picks outside of that. And those picks could be extremely important if a really top-tier player becomes available. And to use it, just to use it, like I don't think they should. I think they are being wise. But they do have to do something. They have to. Let's see. Shan says a sleeper move would be Andrew Wiggins. Call me Craig. No, I mean, we heard about his name kind of early in the season, but that's risky too, man. He's got a lot of off the court issues with his family. I don't know how locked in he is. I don't know the mentality there. Don't know if this guy's ready to be. I don't mean this in a bad way. It's going to sound worse than I intended. I don't know if he's mentally in a space to be on a Laker team that's already got all that heat and attention, and a LeBron James Laker team with all that heat and attention. I don't know if he's in that right mental space for that right now. I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know. But I'm not sure he's there for that right now. And I think the Lakers got to be careful with that. Let's see. Richard says, I think JHS will get more playing time. It's weird how players said he was killing it in training camp. Yeah, they liked it. It just, look, I have not been as hard on Darvin as most people, but as far as how he dealt with the youngins, the Max Christie's, the JHS's, the Maxwell Lewis's, I think there is big room for criticism in that area. The development, when you have a guy like Phil Handy on your staff, the development of your young players was pretty much non-existent. So that was a major flaw in Darvin's coaching, along with other things, obviously. But that's my biggest thing is, the staff that they have now, JJ, they're talking about getting a director of player development that could still end up being Phil Handy. I think that guys like that will be more of a focus. And I think, to be honest with y'all, man, the more I see about how the Lakers are operating and what the Lakers are doing, the Guggenheim Group has a pretty decent chunk of the Lakers organization. They've bought more and more over the years. They're almost operating like the Guggenheim Group. Patient, don't overpay, don't worry about the fans, just get it right. Like, I understand that they were doing it wrong before, so it's hard to trust just, a 180, right? It's hard. It's hard to trust that. But if you look at it, it's almost like they're kind of operating. No, wait for your guy. Wait for your guy. Wait for that right guy. Then you use your assets. Then you move the prospects. Then you spend your money. Like the Dodgers let Corey Seager walk out the door. They let Trey Turner walk out the door. They didn't really go after Bryce Harper. They were waiting on a Mookie Betts. When he became available, they got him. They were waiting on a Freddie Freeman. They got him below market value. And they've been waiting for years on a Shohei Ohtani. And they got him. Now, the Lakers don't have the Dodgers' money, even though the Dodgers group is part of their ownership. But the philosophy and the strategy, it's kind of teetering along those lines right now. And if you're a fan of both teams and you kind of study the business of both sports and both teams, the Lakers front office is acting a little bit more like the Dodgers front office right now. The Dodgers don't just give away prospects to give them away. They don't just trade away picks and prospects, and to them, their future is valuable as their present. And the Lakers seem to be carrying themselves kind of like that. They just do. JSJ says, bro, PG deserves the sound effects after calling the Clippers the B team and also being a Clipper fan growing up while wearing number 8 to honor Kobe. You want the toilet? You want the toilet flush? Where we at? Man, it's been a while. Here we go. Damn. There you go. I had to dust that off, man. Dust that off. Speaking of being dusted off, man. Ron, help me out here, man.
Acknowledge me, please.
Come on, man. We need some likes on this video, man. I know I've been popping up for about a week. I know YouTube's mad at me. But drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. We will greatly appreciate it. Thank y'all for everyone that's done so already. But the very least you could do is drop a like and subscribe. KD, what's going up, my guy? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you. Tyrone says, I'm thinking Bruce Brown and Wendell Carter trade. Yeah, so I mean, like, I wouldn't hate that either. I just, Tyrone, I think we're on the same page here, right, bro? Like, I want that point of attack guard, and I want a serviceable bruising style big that could at times play with AD. I don't think that's impossible to get. It's not easy, but it's not impossible. So that combination I wouldn't mind either. But the problem is, like I said, if you're getting a Bruce Brown at 23 million and then getting the Wendell Carter, you have to get a little creative there. But doable, and I would not mind that at all, my guy, not at all. Let's see. Wendell Carter would also be nice. Facts. Shan says Jonas is a terrible defender. Teams legit attack him. Yeah, so this I agree with, but I think what it is it's just a guy that can. He's a guy that you can use and to kind of go at those other bigs offensively because he can score. But not just that, but he's a bruiser, so he can at least. Now, wings and guards may be able to go around him, but the strong power bigs, he can go chest to chest with those guys. But is he the answer, the perfect big? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But at that price point, man, he's not too terrible. You think Zoe can have a decent comeback? It's been too long. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm rooting for Zoe, but I just don't know if he can hold up, man. Chris, what's going on, my brother? What's going on, the graphic guy? Appreciate you for tuning in. Shout out my brother Chris. Good to see you, my guy. Hope you're doing well, man. Festo, what's going on? He said, Jeff, what's good, my G? What's good with you, brother? Appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for your continued support. LA for Life says, what percentage you think Dodgers get Randy? I'm sorry, a baseball question. No, you're good. I think the Dodgers have an excellent chance to get Randy. Their chances are strong. But as far as will they get him, I don't know. I think Atlanta's kind of forced to get involved in this. I think there's other teams that are going to want him, but the Dodgers and Rays are natural trade partners. They always have been. They almost always will be. There's a good chance they could get him if they decide to pay the price. Crochet and Roberts and Flaherty, like all these dudes. The Dodgers will absolutely do something that is worthy. I'm convinced of this. I think the Dodgers are going to have a monster August. I think they've obviously, outside of tonight's game, they've really started post All-Star break strong. And that's kind of what I've been saying. Pay attention to this team after the All-Star break. You're going to get Mookie back, probably get Yamamoto back in a month or so. Glass now gets back in rhythm. We got Kershaw back tomorrow. We'll see what that becomes. I think they're going to do, I think they spent the cash in the offseason. They saved the prospects. And now I think they're going to do what they got to do. I think they're all in on this team, as they should be. I think they've proven that. And I think they have a good chance to make that happen. Heidi says, I think if they stand pat until the trade deadline, they'll be okay. Just have to stay healthy. Well, that's it, though. Like, I think that's just it right there. I don't know if I trust them to stay healthy. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even though, like, KCP comes out and says, thought the Lakers should have beat them and all this and that, like, at the end of the day, they didn't. And at the end of the day, like, can we trust this team to stay healthy? And that's the hard part. But I just don't want to deal with the constant just toxicity of the crying and complaining about this team being the same through December, man. Oh, God, it's just brutal. Richard says, would love Trey Mann, Cody Martin, Nick Richards trade, and they could possibly develop Hayes and Reddish. Yeah, no, I get it. I don't know how much more development is in those two, in Hayes and Reddish. I think they kind of are who they are. I really like those names. I just don't think teams are giving them away. I just don't think so. Chris says, Laker tax, we got to make the right trade. Yeah, I mean, you can only get taxed if you overpay, right? So Laker tax is something that is stretched a little bit, but teams are going to leverage them because the Laker tax really isn't about. The funny thing is most of the people, I'm not saying you, Chris, most of the people who talk and cry about the Laker tax, or the reason there is a Laker tax, is because other teams try to leverage the impatientness of a fan base against the organization. And the Laker fans create the Laker tax. It's a fact, like they do, because these teams try to leverage the public pressure to get the Lakers to overpay, which is why I think the Lakers are smart for not folding the public pressure. But the Laker tax, yes, Laker tax, Yankee tax, Dodger, all these major top tier market teams have a tax to an extent, but the Lakers, because it's, in my opinion, the biggest brand in sports, definitely has a tax. But again, I don't think it's the Knicks are the number one most valuable franchise in the sport. No one's taxing them because their fan base isn't going nuts, right? So that's one thing that has to be understood. See, if it comes to that, obviously I prefer they make a trade sooner than later. But if that doesn't happen, it wouldn't be catastrophic. No, I hear you, Haley. I'm just saying, like, so many people would just go crazy over this. Oh man, what's going on, Kate? Tyrone says Rui and Hood and 2 second rounds for Bruce Brown and Gabe and Cam and a first round from Wendell Carter Jr. I just don't think the Lakers are giving up that first for him, no, man. Jamal Murray should be an all-star. Yeah, he should be. Pick up Tyus Jones or Dennis Smith Jr. and Lonnie or Marcus Morris. I can't believe Tyus Jones hasn't signed yet. I think Tyus Jones is still possibly a sign and trade candidate. I like those names. Marcus Morris. Last time I heard he may link up with his brother, but I know he hasn't signed yet. Dennis Smith Jr. I like Dennis Smith Jr. Lonnie, I think that ship has sailed. He's another guy that just can't seem to get more than a minimum from anybody. They got to October. Facts. What's a few all-time players that you think were a jumper away from being great? All-time players? Man, obviously you want to say like a dominant guy like Shaq, right? Shaq had a jumper. Oh my God, but he was already great. Like I think Rondo was great in his way, and he's going to be a Hall of Famer. But if someone like Rondo had a consistent jump shot out the gate, he would have been just crazy. He would have been nuts, man. Rondo, Magic Johnson is obviously an all-time great. Imagine if Magic had a jump shot, like a legit jump shot. I'm trying to think of you got the stretch bigs today. Like if you had a big, like that was crazy athletic and dominant and that could step out and hit, like not like a Shaq that was just so physically and crazy dominant. So I said Rondo. KG kind of started to work that midi and stepped out to the 3 after a few years. And Rasheed Wallace had that jumper. But if you're talking about guards, Jason Kidd started his career with the jumper. I think he would have been, that boy would have been just crazy, even more. But I mean, most of the guys that were out there that didn't have the jumper that could just get to the basket at will, that's kind of just what made them great. Like Allen Iverson, when it crossover, his ability to get to the shot, get that midi, the floater, he can make jump shots, but he wasn't known as like a dead-eye shooter, right? But I think my 2 guys off top would be Rondo and Jason Kidd, both Hall of Famers, but like they would have been like on a whole nother level and a whole nother tier if they entered the league with a jump shot. What's going on? Stay up. Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Thank you. Dylan the Villain says, at the end of the day, Rob Pelinka will ruin it, or we'll be running it back the same roster. No moves, Jeff. I mean, man, we'll see. We'll see. Give me some Kawhi and Harden trades that would make sense. None right now for another team. I got to see if Kawhi can even play. What type of shape does Harden come in at? Right now, none to me. For buyout guys, is there a chance for Woods to say so and so players expected to sign with a certain team, but the player chooses another team? It's rare when that happens because that's typically worked out before the player even gets bought out. So no, for the most part, unless something goes terribly wrong, most of the time that's on point. Yankees are going through it. They are. You think Soto walks next year? Do you think he loves being NYC and stays? I think they're gonna offer him a ton of money. I think it depends on what other teams come calling. Like, does Philly really offer a bag like that to him? I don't know. Does Washington chase after him again now that they're kind of got some young guys coming up? Do the Mets overpay? Does he really want to go there? So I don't know. I think he really loves playing in the Bronx and being a Yankee. I think if they come correct, there's a good chance he stays. As always, great show, Jeff. Got to get some sleep. Glad I was able to catch you before going to bed. Hey, thank you. Highly appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you. I'm going to get ready to shut it down myself. So appreciate you. I'm going to last couple of chats here, and then I'm probably going to dip. What's going on, Patrick? Jeff, assuming we're rolling with the same roster, who do you want to start? Who are your predictions to be JJ starters? For me, I want Vando and Max with D'Lo and AD and Braun, the 3D players. I feel Max, Braun, D'Lo. Yeah, I would. I think Reeves off the bench plays better off the bench than D'Lo. So if the same team comes back, I will go D'Lo, Max, Vando, Braun, AD. Yeah, that would be mine. Kane says, I'd say Magic, Rondo, and Westbrook. I forgot about Westbrook. You're right. I said Rondo and Kidd, but Westbrook right there. Facts. But Russ could shoot at least. At Braun, he'd have basically mini. Yeah, facts. Russ slipped my mind. Great catch there. But I had Rondo, Kidd, those guys. Russ probably should have been before those guys. I'm not fair. So good. That was an oversight by me. Magic developed the shot put jumper later in his career, but if he had better jumper and more athleticism, he would have easily been the GOAT combo. All facts. But people forget Westbrook used to be a good mid-range shooter and free throw shooter. I feel after the 2008 season, that shot slowly dipped. But on the Clippers 2003, that ish started falling. I think rhythm's a big part. Yeah, he used to be that stop on a dime, left or right side of that elbow, free throw line extended, and he would cash that joint. Like he would. So I definitely understand where you're coming from. Kind of just slipped and fell off there at a point. But for sure, Wade is another one too. Definitely. But his shot was better than those other guys though. He can get going and get hot. So appreciate everyone tuning in, man. We got over 100 people over on Twitter right now. Appreciate you all for sure. Everyone on YouTube, man, drop a like on the video if you have not done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. I greatly appreciate it. But I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for the night. I got to get up early tomorrow, so I appreciate spending about an hour and a half with y'all tonight. I'll do my best to try to pop up here tomorrow. Like I said, life is life right now, and I've just been tied up taking care of some things. So I missed y'all. Great to hang with you guys. And y'all can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I appreciate that. So thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your subscribes. Thank you for your super chats. And I will catch you guys on the next one. So y'all have a good rest of your Wednesday. You guys have a great Thursday, and I will catch you on the next one. Go Lakers, go Dodgers. Y'all be safe.